So on behalf of Green International, we welcome you all for this UPDA electrical class. So myself Selvam. Good evening. So the UPDA electrical, simply we use the word UPDA electrical. Actually, this UPDA stands for Urban Planning Development Authority. It is under Ministry of Municipality Environment, simply we say that MME. So under this MOI, no for like the Ministry of Environment, under this we have one division is that we call it UPDA, Urban Planning Development Authority. So there they are conducting this exam. So that's why we use the word MME/or UPDA electrical whatever thing. Okay. So in Qatar, everyone having a engineering degree. So in our home country, we told that we are engineers. But if you come to the Qatar, unless otherwise we didn't have this license, we are able to say ourselves as an engineer. So we hold the degree, but we didn't have the license. So easy to understand what we told that we know the driving. In our home country, we have a driving license. So in our home country, we may use the car. But even though we have a driving license in the home country driving license, but we are not able to drive here because we didn't have the Qatar license. So similarly, we have an engineering degree, but yet now it is not approved by the Qatar government. So that's why we came here for this exam. So this exam, we have different categories are there. UPDA civil engineering, architectural. So we have different categories. You come to here, so electrical and electronics. So simply use the word UPDA electrical. So those having a EEE, BEEE, ECE, EC the word electrical engineering, because in my home country we use the word electrical and electronics engineering, electronics and communication engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering. We have different universities, we have different terms, because we have different nationalities of that. So that's why we say that electricity engineering, electronic computer engineering, electric power engineering, automatic control. So simply we say that EEE, ECE, electronics and telecommunication, instrumentation, all under UPDA electrical. That's why you takes your degree under these things. So that's why we have everyone having a Qatar ID. So that's why we can be able to get exam. Everyone having an engineering degree. So that's a two minimum criteria. We need having QID and engineering degree. So both we have that. That's why we came here to write the exam. So this part that we discussed right now. So our main objective to get the license. At the same time, we need a license with a grade. So I hope some of the persons, they know the grade. So usually, see the board must be taken, everyone having a bachelor. For example, if you have a bachelor degree, we have less than 5 years, we may say UPDA with trainee. Those having less than above 5 years, 5 to 7 years we call here. So here they use the word third, second, class, but in our colors we use the word C grade, B grade, A grade. But the MME they told them first, second, third. But in our practice we use the word A grade. We may have a UPDA A grade, B grade, C grade like that. C grade is nothing but a third. So 0 to 5 years. So here about 10 years, we say first grade. So this is purely based on the grade system. So it is purely based on your experience, not mark. So our objective to get the license, prime objective plus grade. The license is based on the exam. Grade is based on your experience. So it is not, it depends upon your degree, you may have different grades. So that's why we discuss about the exam pattern. So in our exam, to get the license, you need to appear for the exam. The exam consists of 25 questions. The total duration is 16 minutes. So that is 16 minutes. We need to answer 25 questions. But the total number of questions is 25. But for the pass mark, 50%. 50% is the pass mark. That means out of 25 questions, we need to get 12.5, 50%, 12.5. Rounded to we say 30. But we are working in the construction activity, so that's why we always put some contingency. So instead of 30, we may say 14. So that's why out of 25 questions, we need to answer 14 right answers. 13 is enough. So we take that 14 right answers. So to get a license, you need to get 14 right answers. Okay. And the exam is a computer-based multiple choice exam. So we need to take a system. The system generates the questions. Each questions have either mostly you have 4 options. Rarely, or some questions may have 5 options. Some questions may have 2 or false. Note that statistic out of 10 engineers, may one engineer having one question like that. So that's why in general, we may say each question having 4 options. And here there is no negative mark. So that's why try to answer all the questions.
One question.
Yes, sir, tell me, sir.
The previous slide where you showed the bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD degree, that based on that the experience could vary. Does all these degree need to be attested?
Yes, that's it. So our main objective to get the license. Okay?
Okay.
License. Sometimes what we do, we need to get plus grade. To get the license, you need to write the exam. To get the grade is based on your bachelor degree. If you have a bachelor degree, you need a 10 years experience. If you have a master degree, you need to have a 7 years experience. So you will have a, for example, I have a master degree.
Yes.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, I have bachelor degree and master's degree. Okay, my experience overall is more than 15 years.
Okay.
So I just want to understand. My master's degree is from UK, and my
Okay.
bachelor's degree is from India.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to understand. My master's degree is not attested, but my bachelor's degree is attested because it's coming from India and it was the requirement in Qatar
Yes.
to work in Qatar. But for the UK degree, which is my master's degree, I don't have it
Attestation.
attestation. So is it
Okay.
mandatory if even if you have any degree, you need to get attestation to validate yourself as
Okay.
my question
So
is regarding grade. Yeah.
yes, correct. So usually, so come to the grade system. So this is the document provided by the MMUP side. So here they didn't mention about that master because they say that master degree means if you have 7 years experience, it's enough. But they didn't mention that you for that bachelor degree, this type of questions, master degree, there's a different set of questions. By this they didn't tell anything here. But what we hear that if you upload your master degree, the question pattern is may differ. By this way we hear the information. But in the document, they didn't mention that. For example, I have a master degree in power electronics. If you upload a degree BE electrical, ME power electronics, what we suggest that instead of electrical engineering, that is instead of these areas, you may have a more questions in the power electronics because I mastered in the power electronics. So by this way, I clear the so that's why I didn't upload my master degrees because I'm strong in the basic electrical electronics.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I
Okay.
think the question is answered, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And already you told that you have 15 years experience, that's why there is no need to worry about that part. Okay. So we have 25 questions, each question having 4 options. There is no negative mark. And in our exam, we have some theory questions and problem questions also there. So note that 25 questions, 60 minutes, which means each question carries approximately 2.5 minutes. Which means, here we told that there is a theory question and problem questions. Don't think that in our colleges we write that 4 mark questions, 8 mark, 16 mark questions, or we have a very lengthy problem because it takes more than 2.5 minutes. So in our exam, all the questions we need to answer within 2 to 2.5 minutes. By this way, the questions are framed. That's why there is no need to worry about that. For example, we go to that circuit theory. We have a very big mesh method problem, nodal method problem. We solve more than 2 to 3 pages. In our exam, they not that we have questions related to this area, but it's not to write a 3 or 3 matrix and we need to solve 2 to 3 pages. So by this way, it didn't have any questions. And it is a multiple choice question. That's why there is no need to buy out the definition theorem. For example, Ohm's law. There is no need to buy in our colleges. So what we told that at constant temperature, the current is directly proposed to apply the voltage. But instead we buy out the theorem or law. But here they didn't ask about the definitions. So that's why we need to remember or we need to catch the important keywords is done. So come to here. So in our exam, we have theory questions and problem questions also done. So problem questions means you need to use the calculator. So we need to use the calculator. But in this classroom, we need to use a scientific calculator. We may use the mobile as a scientific calculator to do the calculations. But in an exam hall, they didn't allow to take the scientific calculator or they didn't allow to take the mobile phone. In the exam hall, you need to take 2 things. One is a Qatar ID, another is a pen. These 2 only allow to take inside the exam hall. Even ballot also, they didn't allow to take the exam hall. So then how to solve the problem? So to solve the problem, we need a calculator. We must hands-off training in the system calculator, which means like so, as I told that, we take the exam in the desktop. In the desktop, we have calculator is there. So, we need to solve the problem by using this calculator. So, we must hands-off training in the calculator because in our colleges, we have different, we are using the scientific calculator. I am using one model, he is using another model. In my calculator, the shift button, which gives the more options. In this calculator, instead of shift, they put a second to n like this. So here we say that 2n second. Some calculator put a shift button, some calculator put a second, some calculator put a alpha. That is the orange color, a pink color. In our college, we see the calculators. So that's why we need to hands-off training how to use this calculator. Because in your exam, we have 60 minutes. If you are not able to use this, how to use this calculator, you may fed up. That's why before using the exam, at least you try to use this calculator. That way you know about, for example, see, we have a root 2 is there. So we have a problem. In this problem, you need to use the cube root. How to find a cube root? So then only we know if you go to next second, then we say the cube root. So that's why I told them you need to hands-off training the system calculator. You must familiar with the things. Okay. The problems means we need a rough paper. So the MME they use a rough paper. Then you don't need to take any papers inside the exam hall. Okay. Before that we discuss later. And so we have 25 courses. The 25 courses is broadly categorized into 4 categories. And these we call as a core engineering and we call as a project. So out of 25 questions, you may expect 20 questions from the core engineering and 5 questions from the theory topic. Note that I told the 5 questions means don't think that exactly you may have 5 questions. This is the statistics experiment. In my exam, I have 4 questions. In your exam, you may have your 5 questions. She may have your 4 questions. So by this way, we cover some statistics information. Don't predict that you may have exact numbers. So we have a core engineering and we have a project. So we have 20 questions here, we have 5 questions here. So electrical, electronics, computer communications, like that. So theory are some problems. So problem means what type of problems they may ask that question. For example, we have a voltage, given data, we have a voltage, we have a current. We need to find the power or we need to find the resistance. For example, we take the power, P is equal to V into I. That means here we need to multiply two numbers, simple multiplication. We go to the calculator, multiplication. So that means in our exam, it is the electrical engineering is the voltage and current. When you come to the mathematics problem, it's a multiplication, that's all. So in our exam, we have a problem. The problem we may use the arithmetical functions, that's all. Suppose, yes sir.
It is V voltage, current, and cos phi, no, sir?
Yes. So voltage, current, we may say it's a DC fundamental.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now, as we told that, so they give us power, voltage, current, find the power factor. So that means in this question left of the AC fundamental. So power factor means again it is a numerical arithmetic calculation. Simple arithmetic calculation. Suppose they ask the phase angle, then we go to the cos inverse, which means we may use the trigonometric functions. So in our exam, we may use the trigonometric functions problems also that. Either in our throughout electrical engineering, we are using only two. One is the sin theta or cos theta. To calculate the active power, we go for the cos theta. To calculate the reactive power, we go for the sin theta. Rest of the angle we didn't use in our electrical engineering. We didn't use the tan theta, cosine theta, whatever other angles, trigonometric angles. Oh. So we have arithmetic calculation, we may have a trigonometrical calculation. So I'm lost to DC or the communication. So here we need to calculate the gain. What is the formula for the gain? So output will be input. And here I use the word, if you suppose you have to calculate the current gain. Then we say output current will be input current. So it is called as a gain. The gain is a numerical number because, for example, output current in terms of ampere, input current in terms of ampere, we have a numerical number. So that means it's a arithmetic calculation. Suppose we need to calculate the gain in terms of decibel. Then the formula slightly changed 20 log output current will be input current. Which means in our exam we have a Lagrange functions. So how to use the Lagrange function? That's all. So similarly, in the transient circuit, we are using the e power of x. And in our exam, we have general topic. In the general topic, you need to calculate the simple interest, compound interest. That problem also in our exam we have that. So that we use the formula x to the power of y. So simply in our exam, the problems means using the calculator. Here we are using the arithmetic calculations or log functions or trigonometrical functions or x to the power of. These are the functions we need to use to solve the problem. That's all. Don't worry about the Newton or some analysis. We have Newton's Raphson method relative problems. Like that, there is no problem in our exam. So now we prepare that and we go for the exam. So the The important limitation in our contract document, because mostly we are working the construction phase. In our contract document, in the last paragraph, they mention the LD class, liquidity damage. Because within this 1 year period, we have to complete the project. Yes, they will do the 2%, 0.5% per day, they will give a penalty. That is we call as a LD class. So similarly, here, unless otherwise, we didn't have the LD class, we didn't complete the project within the time period. That's why always they put that some time periods. So similarly here, to get the license, they give only 2 chances. They give only 2 chances. Within the 2 chances, we need to get the license. That's why we say that first attempt and second attempt. And so that means we have only 2 chances, I told that. And they ask the another word, supplementary chances. The supplementary chances means, for example, easy to remember, easy to understand, in our college days, we wrote the internal exam. Unfortunately, I didn't get the good internal mark. So what do? I meet the professor, I have a less internal mark, please consider my request for the re-exam. By this way, he may or may not conduct the re-exam. Based on this re-exam, we will get the increase or internal mark. That we call as a supplementary. So that means for the main exam, simply sitting in our office, we upload the document is enough. For the supplementary chances, because in the first attempt, I am not able to get the license. So that's why I request, I need to go to the professor room for request the re-exam. So similarly, here we need to apply the MMUP website for the re-exam. When we apply within a month, 1 month period, within a 1 month period, we will request the MME for conducting the re-exam for us. If we request, they will consider. If not request, they didn't consider that. That means this chance is vanished. So usually what we do, before going to a vacation, we plan to write the exam. Once the exam is finished, we go for the vacation. If I have having a license, we have to move the. If even though we are not able to get a license, we are going to the home country. Whereas most of the years we plan like that. Because within the 1 month, we need to appear for the re-exam. Unfortunately, I am not able to get the license in the first attempt. I go to my home country and come back after 1 month. That 1 month, the supplementary chance is vanished. So that's why the supplementary are too important. We need to apply within 1 month. So globally or in general, we may say 4 chances are there. Strictly speaking, we have 2 chances, but we take the advantage means we have 4 chances are there. Within the 4 chances, we need to get the license. For first attempt, immediately we will get the cooking account in your message, you will get the message, pass or fail. For the supplementary chances, it takes little more time. Here we have a 3 to 4 weeks, we need to wait. Here nowadays we have a 10 to 15 days, we will get the result, but not immediately. That means that 10 days, we need to wait for our result. So to get the license, we have to appear for the exam. The exam means we need a syllabus. But this website, they will provide any specific syllabus. This exam is not only for this university students, it's for the entire person. So we have multinational peoples are there, we have different universities, different curriculums are there. So they didn't mention any specific syllabus for this exam. Simply say for UPDA electrical, those having a engineering degree, BE electrical engineering, BEC like that. Then how we frame this syllabus? In our college, how we before the semester exam, the student study holiday. At that time, we will collect the syllabus copy. Then we met the seniors to collect the previous question papers. Nowadays, it is in the market. In my 30 years back, we go to the senior room, we collect the previous question papers. And we have 3 to 4 question papers. So we analyze all the question papers. The first question paper, for example, big question, 16 mark question. The first question we have 3 question papers. We read all the 16, the same question. Out of 3 question paper, 2 question we have same question means we happy. This is an important question. So by this way, before writing the exam, we frame our own question paper based on the previous question papers. So similarly, here we frame the syllabus based on the question papers we received that. Because I wrote in my exam. So what was the question asked in my exam? I know that. So he is my friend. So that's why I discussed with him. He told that I have this question from the transformer, especially copper losses. I have a question from the how many brushes in the power system. They asked about that. What is the difference between the E from E from? But they say some information. Based on the information, we frame the syllabuses. So this syllabus is not available by the MMG. We frame this syllabus. So we have a 10 classes. Out of 10 classes, 8 classes for the core subject and 2 classes for the PMP. The first class we discussed about the DC fundamental. So these are the, because if you see the syllabus copy, because some words if you read them, then you can be able to this. I know these words. Sometimes you may afraid this is in our colleges also I skip this information. So whatever. So by reading the syllabus, you have little what you want. So the DC fundamentals, we need to discuss about these topics, resistance, yes sir.
Does the number of right questions matter in this test?
Oh.
Like if somebody is doing like 20 and not right answer,
Okay.
does it matter on the grade?
That's why I told that. Don't mistake that. Don't take that. In our colleges, if you're having a 16 marks, he has a 75 marks. He has a 90 marks. So 16 marks, we have 1 grade. 75 marks, 1 grade. 80 marks, 1 grade. Here, the UPDA, the grade is not based on the mark. It's based on your experiences. That is minimum requirement 50%. In the project specifications, in the preferred vendor list, we have different brands are there. For example, we take the LD panel. They mention the different brands. As a construction engineer, out of 5 different brands, which is the cheapest one, I will take that. All the 5 brands, we need to adhere the project specifications. But out of 5 brands, A, B, C, but A is a costly one, C is the least one. So as a construction engineer, I take the C brand. So similarly, here, the minimum requirement is 50%, that is 14 right answers. The grade is purely based on your mark, the experiences, not mark. That's why our objective, instead of out of 25 questions, instead of we write the 20 questions or 22 questions, we hi sir, welcome. So out of 25 questions, instead of getting 22 questions, 28 questions, just we need to get only 14 right answers. So don't mistake minimum requirement. I am discussing about the minimum requirement, that's all. So in the DC fundamental, we discuss about these topics. Ohm's law, resistance, resistivity, conductance, conductivity, Kirchhoff's law, series parallel circuits. And here we come to the theorem. So here I keep only 4 theorems. Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, maximum Morgan's theorem, superposition theorem. Because I receive a question from various engineers, the engineers have a question from these theorems only. But in my college, I study the reciprocal theorem. In your college, you may study the Miller theorem. So what we have so many theorems are there, but still now, note the word still now. They ask the question from these 4 theorems. Suppose tomorrow, when he has had a question, he had a question from the reciprocity theorem. Then day after tomorrow, along with it, I put a reciprocity theorem. That's all. So this is the syllabus based on the yesterday question paper. But we are discussing today. You are taking the exam tomorrow. So that's why there is always very small gap with that. That's why what we told them, until your exam, keep active in the group. Thereby, if a new information, we will share to you. At least until your exam. So each module or each session, we may take 3 hours. Within the 3 hours, we will discuss those things. The second session, we discussed about the AC fundamentals. So AC fundamental, simply we say that here we say the voltage. But the more specifically, if you come to the AC, the voltage, we may use the 4 different terminologies. In the normal, we say that 240 voltage. It is we call it the RMS voltage, but we didn't mention the RMS voltage. Simply we use the word voltage. At the same time, in our BOQ or in the project specifications, we submit the material submittal for the isolator, for the MCP. That if you read the specifications, they mention that EP or EM, especially for the MCP and isolators. They use the word peak voltage. So that means we come to the AC, there is a terminology peak voltage or maximum voltage. For the DC supply, it's not that. If it is come to the EMFication of the transformer or alternator, that we start from the average quantity. Then we convert into RMS quantity. That's why we need to discuss about the different terminologies: instantaneous voltage, maximum voltage, average voltage, RMS voltage. And note that in my exam, I have this question. E is equal to pi sin omega t. We will find the V average. And actually, out of 28 questions, the same question 2 times in my exam I had that. So it's also really happened in your exam. So AC supply, we need to know about the voltage. Once we know the voltage, then we need to calculate the current. Once we need to calculate the current, then we need to discuss about the behavior of the current. The behavior current is related to the phasor diagram. We are applying the voltage for the resistance, it is in phase. We are applying the voltage for the inductance, it is a lagging. So we have passive component. In the passive component, we are giving the DC supply, AC supply, how it is behaving. So that information we discuss here. For example, here we have electrical load, we are applying the voltage, the lamp is low. So here, for instance of the lamp, we say that ceiling fan. How to control the ceiling fan? Speed control by adjusting the applied voltage. By controlling the applied voltage, the ceiling fan speed is able control. Whatever the applied voltage, whatever the speed, the frequency remains constant. It is related to the electrical and belongs to the electronics engineer. So here I take a piece of radio. I take the radio. In the radio, we have different stations are there. I need to take the station A, station B, station B. How we take the station A and B? By changing the frequency. By changing the frequency means it's related to the resonance circuit. In the resonance circuit, we are giving the voltage, we are giving the frequency, but we keep voltage as constant, we change the frequency. Is example for the resistance. So this is here the example for a ceiling fan. The ceiling fan, the frequency is constant, we change the voltage level. The same circuit in this AC fundamental, we have here resistance, inductance, capacitance, and we have AC supply. We have AC supply means we have 2 parameters, voltage, frequency. We keep the frequency constant, we change the voltage. That is one type of problems. It is related to the electrical engineering. We keep the voltage, we change the frequency. That is related to the communication topic. And sometimes we are using the switch. So in respect to the supply voltage, by switching action, how the load behave, that we call the translate circuit. So in the DC, in the AC fundamental, we discussed those things. On the third class, Simply we say that electronics fundamental. In the electronics, we studied n number of devices, we studied that. But when we come to this exam, we have a question from the diode, Zener diode, transistors, operation amplifiers. So still now we have a question from this area. That's why we have. So that's why we will discuss more about these devices. But some questions having some options having FET and MOSFET. Not the questions. Some options may have that. That's why the last 5 to 10 minutes we discuss about these devices. So the first 3 classes is too important. Simply we say that DC fundamental, AC fundamental, electronics fundamental. For example, F is equal to 50 hertz. For the time taken, T is equal to 1 by, yeah. This is the cause, yeah, AC fundamental. For example, T is equal to 100 milliseconds. So in the, for example, in the square waveform generator, the square wave generator produce the square waveform. That time period is T is equal to 100 milliseconds. I calculate the clock frequency. So what the formula is equal to 1 by T. The formula is same. But this formula we say the AC fundamental. This formula we say that electronics fundamental. Or related to the communication, whatever thing. So that's why the first 3 classes is too important because here and there we may use the same information, same concepts. On the 4th class, we discuss about the transformer and DC machines. So nowadays we have more questions from the transformer compared to the DC machines. So nowadays we have more questions from the DC machines because 6 years, 7 years before we have a question from the DC machines. Now we have very limited questions. Very limited questions means what is but statistics out of 10 engineers, maybe 1 or 2 engineers they say I have a question from the DC machines. The parallel, the transformer, we start with the general conception, working principle, then EMF equation for the transformer, then we need to calculate the efficiency. To calculate the efficiency, we must know about the losses. Then how to find the losses. Then we can be able to find the efficiency. Based on the losses, we can be able to find the what are the parameters involved in the transformer. So based on the things, we may draw the equivalent circuits. So these are the informations we discuss in the transformers. In the DC machines, we have a generator, motors. The same concept, working principle, construction working principle, and EMF equation. Note that, again I repeated, in our exam, they will ask about the, right, briefly explain about the DC junction generator. They will ask that. That's why they are not to buy got the theory things. Construction means we have a stator armature winding. We come to the DC machine, we have armature winding, field winding. What are the things we will remember about the armature winding? What are the things we will remember about the field winding? That basic information you need to remember, that's all. And the 6th class is related to the 5th class is related to the alternator synchronous. Simply we say that AC machines. So AC machines is either AC generator or AC motor. The AC motor is maybe a synchronous motor or induction motor. And here each and every topic you may have one question. From every engineer having one question from the alternator, one question from the synchronous motor, one question from the induction motor. That much important these areas. So simple we have 8 classes. By attending each classes, you may have 2 or 3 questions. We take a 2 questions means 8 into 16 questions. So mainly we have a industrial motor, we have more questions of that. And the 6th class we discuss about the power systems and control systems. The power systems But in our colleges, we start with the transmission distribution engineering, power system analysis, post operation and control, and flexible transmission system. Those are completed recently. These are different areas related to the power systems. But here we are only 5 different topics based on the question papers. The general sectors. General sectors means we have generating, transmission system, distribution systems. So transmission we have further divided into primary, secondary, distribution, primary, secondary. What are the components present in the structures? Then how we classify the transmission systems? Medium, short transmission line, medium transmission line, long transmission line. So how we represent the system by drawing the equivalent circuit. If you draw the equivalent circuit means what are the parameters involved in the power system? If the parameters involved means definitely that immediately that we need to discuss about the efficiency and regulations. So these are informations we discuss here. Apart from this, we have protection, that is we have important devices, protection devices, isolators, circuit breakers, current transformer, earthing switch, relay. What are the functions are there? In the SLD, in our office, we are using the SLD. We have different components are there. The what are the component functions of the different components? That is, you need to remember, that's all. And come to the control systems, we have a basic things only. We have a simple thing, we say that block diagram reductions. So we need to know about what are the different blocks are there, how to reduce the block. But in our colleges, 8 marks or 16 marks, very big blocks are there. We need to, for example, we have summing point is there. We need to skip the summing point before the gain or after the gain. We have different formulas are there. But here we have, even though we have block diagram reduction is there, but not like that complicated. Very simple block diagram reductions. And we need to calculate the geos and poles. And we have a Bode plot. We studied, but Bode plot, polar plot, we have a draw. Similarly, we draw the graph. But in here, for example, we have high pass filter, low pass filter, integrated differentiator. For each and every circuit, what is the Bode plot? That image you need to remember. That's all. They didn't ask how to draw the Bode plot. For the half wave, for example, so not half wave, high pass filter, what is the Bode plot? For the low pass filter, what is the Bode plot? That plot you need to remember, that's why. They did not draw the Bode plot for the high pass filter, low pass filter, integrated differentiator. They never asked that. Actually, they asked the question like this. Option A, this is the Bode plot. They use option A, B. So you have to remember the images. As a 7th class, we discussed about the measurement, oscillators, digital logic circuits. So measurement. So very basic information. What are the parameters involved in the measurements that we studied in the precision, accuracy, calibration. These are the terms. Out of these terms, the calibration, accuracy is too important in our construction, because if you write the order fail, you mean the construction of the calibration certificate. So if we show the calibration certificate means that much important the calibration certificate is. That much important means you must know what is the calibration. Why you go for the calibration? If the calibration is not, then what are the effects will come? That we will discuss here. Not all related to the technical parameters, not non-technical parameters. So similarly, how to convert the ammeter into voltmeter to ammeter, extend the ranges. These are the things we discuss. And in our construction activity, we have a cable fault location. How to find the cable fault? By using the bridge circuit. By using the bridge circuit, we identify the cable fault. So here we have simple 2 to 3 different problems by using the bridge circuit. So that we discuss. And oscillators. So we have different type of oscillator, especially We have 4 different oscillators: phase shift oscillator, Wien bridge oscillator, Colpitts oscillator, Pauli oscillator. We have 4 oscillators. We need to discuss here what is the circuit diagram and how we vary the frequency. Those things we discuss in the oscillators. And come to the logic circuit, similar to the block diagram reduction. Here we need to simplify the circuit. Here we use the word block diagram reduction. Here we need to simplify the equations. They give a Boolean algebra or Boolean equation. We need to simplify the equations. We in our college we use the K map. We simplify that equation. Here we then you need to go by using the K map. Simple mathematical equations, you need to simplify. Or they didn't give the equation, give the circuit diagram or block diagram. From the block diagram, you need to write the equation, then we simplify. And conversion, digital decimal number binary to octal, hexadecimal. That question also we need to discuss here. And the 8th class, we discuss about the computer communication and general topic. These are the topics recently included. Recently means after COVID. After COVID, more than 2 years. So last 2 years, we have these areas. We have questions from these areas. Note that the communication itself is a vast area. So that's why here instead of discussing the topic wise is a more time taken. So what we discuss. So instead of we collecting some questions, these questions related to the communications. So here in the classroom, instead of topic wise, we discuss that particular questions. We have questions from the signal, different waveforms, that is similar to electrical. We have a high voltage, EHU voltage, low voltage. Similarly, here we have a high frequency, low frequency, very low frequency. Each and every signal, that's the classifications are there. So that we have. But instead we discuss that. We have 2 towers are there. So how to calculate the distance between the 2 towers, 2 antennas. So by this we have some questions here. Similarly, computer. Computer, we have 2 broad information, either from the computer architecture or later to the networks. The network in our daily life, we see that switch router, Cat 6, Cat 7K, Cat 6E. Sometimes you use the word switch, sometimes you are using the router, where you use the router, where you use the switch. These are the technical, that is commercial terms. But in the study in the college, we treat a tree method, so that, mesh topology, tree topology, star topology, these are some terms. So we discuss, we have table is there, in the table we have different networks. What is the advantage for the star network topology? What is the disadvantage for the star topology? By this way, we have comparison sheet. That information you remember, that's all. And general topic that is related to the local regulations. We have 2 documents are there. One is a Karama, another one is a QCS. So everyone we know about the QCS and Karama. So we need to know about what are the informations get from the Karama regulations and what are the information we get from the QCS. So QCS, don't think that QCS is more than 1000 pages are there. So here, some information here and there we need to remember the things. Simple, for example, 1918 is a plumbing and drainage. 21 we have a electrical, because UPDA electrical. So UPDA electrical is the QCS, always you go to section 21. Section 21 is all related to the electrical. And there we have subdivisions are there. Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 17 we got the generator. We have subdivisions are there. Even though if you go to the MMUP BOQ, they mentioned in the Excel sheet that sheet number 18, plumbing, 19, 21, 22, 23. The numbers are there. Sometimes that BOQ like that. So you come to the exam point of view, in the QCS, in the section 21, what are the things are there? That information we will remember. As a construction engineer, we are always at least one time you go to read the project specifications. The project specification derived from the QCS. For example, if you take the bus bar, if you take the LV panel, switch gear, always they mention the ambient temperature. So ambient temperature in my home country is different. In his home country is different. In Qatar, in the specific area, they mentioned that 50 degree. Some project, even though usually they mention is 50 degree, but some project specification, instead of 50 degree, they mention that 55 degree. And for example, we take the bus bar system. In the bus bar system, in the terminal, the bus bar is made of copper. But the terminal, some project specification, they mention that it's a silver coated. Why you go for the silver coated? For oxidation, to avoid oxidation. By this way, based on my experience, here and there I have some information. That information I will explain here, not especially for the 8th class. Whenever we discuss, whatever related to that area, I will inform those things. And others, for example, we have two questions for the special electrical machines. We have questions from the power electronics. For all of us, those here some areas here and there, we have 20 or 20 different questions, different areas that we discuss in these classes. And 9th and 10th classes is exclusive for the project management. The project management classes, we have 2 classes. From these 2 classes, we have some questions. So simple, as a construction engineer, in our daily life, we are using this project management. For example, tomorrow, so next week, I have to plan. My project manager, he told that next week, what are the activities are there? So I told that I have a cable tray activity. The cable tray activity means next we have cable laying activity. Once we have cable laying activity means definitely we have a termination. The termination, before the termination, we need to install the D or panels. So these are the different activities. For the cable tray, I needed 15 days. For cable laying, I needed 25 days. So by this way, we have a project. We may identify how much duration we needed. Then because the project team, he told the project team, I give 20%. And these are the activity. When we complete the activity. So we told that 30 days. No, 30 days is not possible. You need to complete within 20 days. Then we need to, based on this activity, we compress that we go for the parallel. The parallel means instead of 20%, we go for the 30%. So the same information here instead of the cable tray, cable laying, here they use the word activity 1, activity 2. Instead of 15 days, 20 days, he told that 20 weeks, 15 weeks. The same information, what we discussed in our daily life, here they are about as a project management. And we are some other technical information also we discussed in these 2 classes. So again, I come to here by understanding all this syllabus, by understanding all these information, we wrote the exam, exam, and we get the 14 right answers. That's why by the God's grace we get the license. Now, my objective is not only getting the license because because I am working in a 2 company, not 2 company. I am working and deputed for the 2 projects for the Qatar project. But the Qatar he told that the consultant, they asked the electrical engineer with a grade, minimum B grade or A grade. So to get the license, 14 items is enough. But now you come to the here. To get the grade, we must have this much. I upload my document, even though I have a bachelor degree and master degree, but I upload only master degree alone. Due to the various reason, I didn't upload my master degree. So I upload my bachelor degree alone. I have a 15 years experience. So I upload my document. So as per this, so I have a license because out of 25 questions, I have 14 right answers. So I have 58 marks. So that's why I get the license. And I upload a 15 years experience. It is under this category. That's why I say license with A grade. Even though I have 15 years experience, but I attested only 7 years experience only I attested. Because rest of the 6 years experience, I am not able to get the license, experience certificate. Out of 15 years, I have 8 years experience in my home country. I have 7 years experience in the Oman. So right now, I am not possible to get the attestation from the Oman because it's not easy process. To get the attestation in my home country is easy. To get the attestation from the Dubai or Oman in the south, Kuwait is too hard. So that's why, even though I have 15 years experience, the 6 year experience, I didn't attest that. If you not attested, the government that didn't consider the experience. So that's why, even though after all my certificate, 15 years experience, out of 15 years, only 7 years only attested. 6 years not attested. So they consider only the 7 years alone. So that's why I get the B grade. I have a 15 years experience. We have 5 certificates are there. 5 certificates, each certificate attestation need 500 riyal or 400 riyal. So 5 certificates, 2000 riyal. So right now I am not able to spend that much money. So that's why I upload my document with 0 experience. Even though I have experience certificate, I didn't attach my certificate. So you get the license because I get the 58 mark plus 0 experience. 0 experience we call it training. In the Kukumi code, they mention the mark. At the same time, the mark in the other they mention the experience. For example, I have here 3 years experience, which means I have a license with the training. But in the Kukumi code, they mention the 3 years, training plus 3 years. Every 3 years, we need to renew. The period of the registration is 3 years. Every 3 years, we need to go for the renewal. So first time, tomorrow I wrote the exam, I will write the exam, I get the license with 3 years experience. That is, you create training, but the cookie amount, they mention 3 years. After 3 years, that is 25, 28, I renew, go for the renewal. The renewal time, I have a 3 years experience with the license. And already I have uploaded 3 years experience. 3 plus 3, 6 years. Now I will get the C grade because so I have a 6 years experience. So it's lies between 5 to 7. So that's why I get the C grade. So the grade is especially based on your experience, not mark. So depends upon your. So what I suggest that even though you have experience means at least wait for you get the you upload all your experience certificate. That way you will get the grade. Later on, it is not possible to get the. For example, right now I didn't attest my out of 15 years experience, I attest only 7 years. I saw that 6 years in my woman. So tomorrow I write the exam, I will get that. After 6 months, I will get the attestation that 6 years. So that's renewal, if you upload it, they didn't consider. So the first time itself, you would upload all your experience certificate. So if you have a young child, there are, for example, I have so those having experience certificate, you attest all your experience. That way you get the added advantage. Later on, it is not possible to upload your document. And note that another important thing. So 3 months, every 3 years, we go for the renewal. It is not later to the exam after getting the license. Every 3 years, we go for the renewal. The expiry date, on or before the expiry date, you must renew it. Yes, you have 100 real fine per month. And within 4 months, you need to renew that. That is 4 months, you need to penalty for 4,000 real. Unfortunately, you are unable to renew with the project for the 4 months means the experience, the license is finished, is collapsed. So we need to write for the, again you need to write the exam. For example, right now I have a license, due to some consent, I go to my home country for 2 years. But next year I need to renew my certificate. I didn't have a Qatar ID, so that's why I'm not able to renew my license. So again after 2 years I come back to Qatar, so again I need the exam.
So for renewal, of the license, you do not need to write the exam.
Yeah. For renewal purpose, there is no need to write the exam.
Okay.
For UPDA, for that, just after that you go for the, you may go for the QCD. For the QCD, for the renewal purpose, you need to write the exam. But here is not that. For UPDA, the renewal, there is no exam. Every 3 years, you need to go for the renewal. And again, this information based on the current date. Maybe they change the law. So in future, the law will change means is different.
If you left Qatar, for example, after getting the UPDA,
Yes.
and after 2 years or 3 years, after 2 years you left,
Yes.
and then what will be the next step?
For example, say
Yeah.
now to 2025.
Yeah.
So don't mistake me. For 2025. So tomorrow I go the exam, I will write the exam and get the license.
Yeah.
So due to some reasons, immediately I go to my country.
Yeah.
So for example, we say 2.5 years I didn't come to Qatar. But my UPDA will expire on 2028. But 27 mid I come to here.
Your QID should be valid na, in that case. To get the new. Yeah.
Not that my QD is expired because I didn't here.
Yeah.
But if you come to again, you come after 2.5 years, come here, the QD number is remains same. Even though whatever the company will go there, the QD number is same number. So that's why the QD number after 2.5 years also, you go to new company, you get a new Qatar ID. The Qatar ID, the number is same only. So the number is similar to the license. That's why they don't write that exam at that particular case. If you come before 2.5 years, after 3 years means you need to, because the ID is expired, the license is expired. That's why you don't write that exam. Again,
Hello, sir.
the scenario,
Hello, sir.
it happened after 3 years. Don't worry about the part. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Tell me, sir. Tell me, sir.
Yeah. So if you are writing the exam and if you fail in the exam, then how many times we can write and when we can maximum how many years, how many times we can we can
That's why I
get
told
the
that we have only 4 chances. We have two attempts, 2 supplementary chances. Total, we have 4 chances are there. Within the 4 chances, we need to get the license. Here, we are not able to practice as a license. Sir, we are not practice as an engineer. Yes.
And what about grades of rating?
Great application. That's why I told that.
Like somebody starting from zero experience, so after 6 years, he will get E,
Yes.
or he has to go for examination. So,
For example, I have here, you play with 0 experience 2025. 2028, I renew that. So at that time also, UPDA train me, but the system they said that 3 years. So 28, 31, again you go for the renewal. At that time, automatically you get the C grade.
Is there any certificate for the renewal?
So renewal time, the certificate means you are, because you are working in Qatar. So you need to attest your employer certificate. Because we are working on company, a company, the company for 3 years. So you get the certificate from the company, we call the employer certificate. Because the Qatar ID, the backside, we know the company name. So at the particular company, you need to get the experience certificate. Current company means we need only a employer certificate is enough. For the existing company means because you go for that within the 6 years, you have 2 companies. That means you have experience certificate. That experience certificate attest from the chamber, not more for assessment. Other than Qatar experience, you go for the mobile attestation. For the Qatar experience, just we need to get the charter. That certificate is enough. Again, so for example, don't take me. So 2025, you get the license and from the company A. You are working in the company A and you get the license. So 2027, you are working in the same company. Okay? That is, we say 2025 to 2027, working in the company A. And 2027 to 2028, they are working in the B company. So 28, we need to go for the renewal. So right now, you need to get the B company employer certificate. Employer certificate, just only simple, they do the certificate. But company A, instead of the employer certificate, we call it experience certificate. That experience certificate must be attested from the chamber. So usually what we do, we get the experience certificate, we didn't get the attestation, chamber attestation. Right now you may have a different certificate, you didn't get the chamber attestation. And during the renewal set only, we upload a document. Unless otherwise chamber attestation is not there, they didn't get the experience. So that's why once you clear up one particular company, immediately you go and get the chamber attestation. Because 2028, the company A be available or is not there.
Sir,
The chamber attestation means the chamber attestation, you need to, along with the experience certificate, you need to carry the CR copy. You need to carry the author's signature. Because the experience certificate, they put the author's signature. The certificate must match with the CR copy. Then only the chamber will allow that. For example, the company A, you get the attestation from the one director. But later on, within this period, the concerned person, they sell to the another party. That author's signature is different. So that's why immediately if you get an experience certificate, immediately you go to the chamber and get the attestation. Don't wait back. But in my life, it's happened. I more than 6 months I am searching. Yes, tell me, sir.
Sir, where should I upload the experience certificate before I take the exam?
Yes, before the exam, you need to upload your all certificates. You need to upload your bachelor degree certificate, and your PCC, and your experience certificate. This is the minimum requirement. If your university is listed, these are three minimum documents.
Okay,
Sir, one question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I've been working in Qatar from almost 2011, 12.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
now I left that company in 2019. Okay,
Okay.
that company is still there, but
Okay.
is it okay or acceptable by the authorities for experience letter coming now? I mean, if I ask them for a letter of experience, they will give it to me. But attestation will be possible, or utilizing this experience certificate, is it possible, or it will not be valid anymore?
Oh. Actually, here in this document, it didn't mention that. If you go to the UPDA MMU website, after 2014, your experience does not consider unless otherwise. After 2014, even though we have a engineering degree, we didn't have a license, that experience they didn't consider. Before 2014, as we told, 2010. So they may consider 2010 to 2014. That 4 years they may consider. 2014 afterward, they didn't consider experience because afterward you didn't have a license, your experience does not consider.
So that means if I get the experience letter from this old company, that will be only calculating for only 4 years. Okay.
Yes, for only 4 years only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Because he will last 1 year.
Okay.
Because recently last number we should do. So, one student they have experience from UAE.
Yes. Other than Qatar, the experience they will consider. You see, for example, we are three engineers, ABC. All three are friends. All are completed the degree in 2010. Okay. The A working in my home country. He is working in a home country for 2010 to 2025. So how many years we have experience? 15 years experience. So he having 2010, 2020 in the home country and 2020 to 2025 in Qatar. So here 10, here 5. But the C engineer having 2010 to 2025, he has 15 years experience in Qatar. All are friends. So right now, all the three engineers right now have planned to write the exam. All the three engineers get the license because the license getting the license to get the 14 right answers. So all the three engineers having a 14 right answers, that's why he get the license. But he uploaded 15 years experience, that's why he has a A grade. And he has a license, even though we have 10 years experience, 5 years in Qatar, 2020 afterwards. So that's why this 5 years they didn't consider that. So only they consider 10 years. The 10 years depends upon, not that I used those 10 years. Suppose if we take the calculations, I have 9.5 years, 9 years, 7 months. But we in our resume, we may say that 10 plus years experience. But the MMG, 9 years, 7 months, they take as a 9 years. They round, in the Excel sheet, round up, round down. They take the round down, not round up. So round down, they becomes a 9 years. So that's a 9 years experience, we have a B grade. The C engineer having 15 years experience in Qatar. But he have 10 to 2014, that 4 years only they may consider. Afterwards, even though you work in a Qatar, that experience does not consider. So you have a 4 years experience only. So you have a license with the training. So as you have that, you have a 10 years in a UAE. So you upload a document, they will consider that. No. For a Qatar experience only, we go for the Qatar chamber attestation. Other than Qatar experience, we go for the MOF attestations. Yes, certainly.
Sir, for example, if I am working in Qatar from 2016,
Okay.
so till now I am in the same company. That means around 8 or 9 years.
Or is that if you have a UAE experience?
Yeah, the experience will be around 9 years. Then will that experience count during the
No.
grading?
After 2016, that I told that after 2014, as per Qatar law, even though our company provided offer letter engineer, we hold the engineering degree, but they didn't say we as an engineer. So after 2014, they didn't consider the experience.
So that means this 9-year experience is like waste for the grading.
Yes, it is not useful for your grade system.
Mhm. So that means we will be again considered as trainee in the license.
Yes. So that's why out of this, A is a lucky person.
Mhm.
So yes, this is the Qatar rule. So that's why after 2014, they didn't consider the experiences.
So home country experience needs to go for MOPA to the home country first,
Yes.
and then
Home country experiences, other than Qatar experiences,
Yeah.
you need to get from the attestation from the concerned country. For example, I am in my home country, so I get the license, attestation from my home country, then the certificate, we come to the Qatar MOPA, we get that.
Yeah.
Suppose, for example, he belongs to an engineer, he belongs to an Indian nationality, he working in Dubai. So he is an Indian nationality, but working in the Dubai. So the company it is in the Dubai. That's why the experience certificate attest from the Dubai. Then after getting the attestation, he come to the Qatar, we get the MOPA attestation. For Indian, for example, don't mistake, we have different nationalities are there. For India, the attestation they charge 400 to 500 riyal per certificate. If other than the Qatar, Dubai, Oman, the third party, they ask that more amount because there is a process of that. Is apart this. So you need to get in the experience certificate, they mention the country name. You need to get the attestation from the particular country. And note that your experience certificate, for example, after degree, you may work in some company. And that the experience certificate mentioned that supervisor. That experience does not considered. Your experience certificate, the word engineer, the word must be important. So after immediately you join one company, the experience certificate they mention that is a supervisor. For example, we both are friends. I have a 5 years experience. They mention the supervisor. But for you, they mention the junior engineer. That certificate is valid. My certificate is not valid because in my experience certificate they mention the supervisor. For example, they mention instead of the supervisor, instead of the junior engineer, they mention the assistant manager. They didn't mention the word engineer, but they didn't mention the word supervisor. That's why that certificate also is valid. So supervisor, that is the word supervisor means they didn't consider the experience certificate. So even though I have 15 years experience, but out of 15 years experience, 10 years experience, the certificate they mention only supervisor. The 10 years experience is not valid. So the grade is purely depends upon the experiences. But here come to here, our part, when we came here to get the license, it is purely depends upon the exam. For this exam, we will refer these topics. That's all. So again, once again, advance congrats to everyone to get your license. That way, what is the main objective to get the license? Number one, you need to change your visa. Some persons may have, even though we engineers, ID it is not a engineer. They put as a supervisor, manager, whatever the same. So we need to change the visa. So by getting the license, you may change your visa. So once you have a professional visa, then only we can able to bring the family. Unless otherwise it's not possible. That's why I advance congrats to everyone to bring your family. After getting the license, you may get the increment. So that's why on behalf of Green International, I congratulate everyone to get the license. And some project, some specifications, because in the earlier days is 5 years or 6 years before, if you get a project, you need to submit the PQ. In the PQ, just we draw the organization chart is enough. But nowadays, in the organization chart, the project manager, we need to put the name. And below that, we need to put the grade. And we need to, for the project manager, we put the PMP. For the project engineer, we need to put the name, grade, phone number, mail ID. Those informations are there. Then only, even though I have a 15 years experience, he has a 15 years experience, I didn't have a license, he has a license. That's why his name may be put in the organization chart. He may attend the client meeting. I am not able to attend the client meeting. especially for the Q companies. So that is important to get the license. So on behalf of Green International, I congrats to everyone to get the license to fulfill your requirement. And hopefully we have regular classes. I hope you have a group is there. In the group, we mention that day, either coming to Sunday, either Tuesday or Thursday. Let me mention in the group. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, lot. Any queries?
Oh, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, advance congrats to you also, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you.